Hello, this is Positive Vibes Enterprise. I am Tom Goodwin. This is Michelle Ronquillo.
Hi, everybody.
And the subject today has to do with mythology versus theory. And the reason that we went into this subject is that a lot of the stuff that is being put out in so-called spiritual circles tend to be in the direction of mythology, and a lot of times they tend to create the mythology and then take it too literally. And when
Yes.
you think of mythology, you have to parallel it with dreams, the ones we have at night. And dreams tend to be mostly symbolic, mostly exaggerated type analogies in order to inform your consciousness what's happening around you spiritually. And the subconscious has to interpret what is going around, and it does the best it can. The spiritual is very much about interpreting because the spiritual comes in a different language. It doesn't come in an English language or a French language. It comes in sort of a symbolic language, the type you'll see in poetry or in a lot of fictional books.
And passion, it comes in the form of gut intuition through that passionate understanding of you or the essence that is around you.
It's that's why it's like a feeling. You see, the
Yes.
thing is when you're interpreting dreams, you have to say, how do you feel? What feeling did it bring out? Because as I said as we did in our last video, the spiritual is powered by emotions and feelings, and so when you're dealing with dreams, which are very spiritual, they connect you very much with the spiritual. It is very much related to how you feel because
Right.
that's what counts on the spiritual level. And feelings aren't, as precise and clear as the physical world. There's
Right.
something where you get in the ballpark, you get in the general location or sense for where things are at, but you can't get exact, you can't get perfection. You just try to get close proximity, so to speak, and that's how the spiritual tends to work.
Yes, and kind of like science, it's the best guess. It's the best, closest proximity to that ultimate result, but it's still best guess. And the spiritual is the same thing. It is honing you into looking at the realities, at what is around you that you can use tangibly and transform it into something.
And the thing with me is, um, I had near-death experiences in 1992 in which I figured out that I had too much mythology that was making it difficult for me to effectively deal with reality well enough. In other words, I had to work on what was inside of me and make it work more effectively. So I had to develop better spiritual theories
Right.
to go by, because that's depending on mythology to go by rather than spiritual theories. And the thing with mythology, it's not very good guidance because you have to be able to interpret it. And it takes time to interpret it, and you can misinterpret it. So what you have to do is the mythology can help lead to theories.
Yeah, it'll train you because it's using all 5 of the learning styles. So that way people can pick out their perceptions on how they learn. So those stories are there to teach people common sense and how to hone in on their own learning styles and interpretations of what is morally just or what is value or what is perceived as integrity. There's so many things that in the spiritual sense can guide you and teach you when you're looking at those things needed to help you grow.
And the thing is, you can't develop really really good spiritual theories unless you have a good sense for where things are at spiritually.
Right.
And that has a lot to do with your understanding of how to interpret mythology and dreams and all that kind of stuff. Once you have a good feel for them, then you have a good feel for the spiritual, and then you can develop theories. And the difference between theories and mythology is that theories actually have to be clear guidance that you can actually use right on the
Yes.
spot, not something exaggerated or symbolic, but something that is clear enough that you can apply it to your life and make a difference,
Right.
or it can have impact on how you look at reality, so you can see reality really clearly. Because when I the reason that when I was developing my theories, I was also putting myself through really hard reality training, which was really rough to do, really challenging to do, and I had to have spiritual theories that enabled me to see the value of what I'm doing,
Right.
see the value of the hardship, the difficulty, and the challenge that's going through. Not stuff that would distract me away from it, would say that this reality really doesn't count so much,
Yes.
that there was another reality somewhere else. The distraction type thing would not work. And when you really have to focus really hard in order to do things that are really difficult, you cannot have the distracted. You have to have really core spiritual theories
Yes.
that can handle um, the roughest of times, the most challenging of times, and the most challenging of training that is used to help you to get ready for those trying times.
Yes.
You have to have theories that enable you to handle that, and you can't have a lot of distracting energy when you when when you really need to focus in the times in which you really have to channel in on a particular problem or a particular thing that's very relevant, very important.
I think also going into theories, when you push and also start acting upon those theories, those actions lead you to new awarenesses in the spiritual that literally can train and motivate you to wake up the strength inside of you and come to action, so to speak, or get on your feet, or be alert. Gets those little spidey senses going to where, with something coming up, you can be ready for it. And why is because you are putting those perceptions into actions, and that is very important.
And a lot of people do not have a clear separation in their brain between the dreamy type spiritual energy, which is
Yes.
mythology, and that which is very much in the waking, hard reality that science tends to deal with. They don't have that clear distinction, and then they tend to get a distortion, and they tend to sometimes be delusional, and they'll write books. And
Right.
and then people will take the books literally when basically what they need to do basically is take it as mythology and interpret it. And then if it doesn't jive with reality, they can say it's not the best mythology because it's not balanced with reality.
Exactly. And that is another good point, that sometimes people think spiritual means flighty-dighty or, in a la-la type of state. And it doesn't. Spiritual, you can be aware in your mundane life and be spiritual and be to picking up on your reactions versus other people's reactions, and be in a state of awareness, be in a state of ready for anything that comes your way, good and bad. And that is putting those theories into training mode and actions by actually doing it in your mundane life.
And it's so easy for people to, you see, the spiritual actually interfaces with the physical reality to quite a degree more than people realize.
Yes.
And that's where you have ghosts that can look real to people, and all kinds of things that can look real. And that's where there are things that we don't have enough evidence for, and we may not have evidence for a long time, like the UFOs that have aliens in them and things like that. But that doesn't matter, because actually, I would have a tendency to interpret it as a spiritual phenomena that is mistaken for a physical phenomena. I believe that we've all pretty much come from other places in the universe, because humanity has only been on the earth for a relatively short time. So all the spirit that must have come from somewhere else. I don't think they were homegrown or they evolved from dinosaurs or someplace else. There may have been a few, but they're not. There just
Not had
wasn't
a
enough.
fish.
No, but I tend to. I really believe that it makes a lot more sense that they came from somewhere else, so that we're all aliens to a degree on the spiritual level, and there may be these UFO type formations that come here that are spirits that have come in groups and they have come over from someplace else and they come off over here and that's the type of energy field you're picking up on when you see the UFO is actual real alien spirits, but they're on the spiritual level. They're not concrete. And that's where I think a lot
Like
of them
a
is.
hologram or a
Yeah,
different
because I think that's what.
dimension piercing through where you can see it, but it's not solid.
And it may
That's
be.
the theory.
Yeah, that's a theory, but I think it to me, you develop theories that will make you focus more on this reality. And when you
Yes.
start changing things over to the spiritual more, then people are not going to take them so literal. They're going to have to interpret.
They're going to have to think.
They're going to have to think and they're going to have to interpret. Maybe they'll develop a better interpretation than me.
That's right.
In other words, they're not going to get so locked in. They're going to have to say, well, does this make sense or does that make sense?
Let's go research it and find out.
And then when you develop the theory, then the psychics, who are interpreting things, if they have better theories on what likely is happening, they'll interpret it better, and then they'll get better results.
See, everything that is in the spiritual leads you to bettering yourself, reaching for a higher consciousness of what we're doing here and how we can evolve better. Anything that leads you away to some flighty-dighty planet or some ideas that are unrealistic, watch out and be aware, because what is important is the fact that in perceptions we need to gather the strength to handle this cruel, intense world, and we need you to grab the strength and the reality inside of you to join us and help us research and debunk all those things.
Well, I'm very much into when I hear these crazy theories or whatever, I will look at the skeptic to come from more the direction of science, because science is best at dealing with the physical. They don't understand the spiritual, but they understand the physical. And if science cannot back it up very well, that it's physical, I would say I wouldn't say that it wasn't true. I would say that it was a spiritual phenomena, not a physical phenomena, and it's relevant, it's different, and you have to interpret it differently because it's a spiritual phenomena. And I believe there's an awful lot of spiritual phenomena out there, and that actually some spiritual phenomena can they actually appear on camera?
Oh, yeah.
Meaning it's strong enough.
Caught a couple of those.
In other words, it'll show on film.
Yes.
Meaning it's strong enough that it'll show in the physical reality. But the fact that it shows it doesn't mean it's a physical phenomenon. It just shows that it's strong enough to show. Yes. On this level, but it's basically a spiritual phenomenon that's strong enough to show a physical dimension to it, but it's still on the core is a spiritual phenomenon.
And I think that it's important also that as we all have radio waves that interface with everybody, and we have theories coming up, in the spiritual is such a vast, spontaneous realm where we all can interface and act and change and grow and understand. It's important to look at the things that are in reality based, the things that are literally going to help this world. It's going to help you, and it breaks the fads that are out there, those things that people just follow. They don't know why they're following, but they're going to follow it anyway. And we need to break that type of mentality, because when you go up to somebody and say, hey, why are you walking in this line? And they're just like, because everyone else is. Those are the types of spiritual change we need. We need to break the fads. We need to break the delusional type of spiritual stuff and get to the real nitty gritty of understanding why the spiritual's there. What is the mythology in the past? Well, it was there to teach people the different lessons, and it was a metaphor of understanding spiritual perceptions. You really have to think when you study mythology, because you really get to the bottom line of understanding what they're trying to say. Not take it literal, or not trying to follow the little green men off the side of the cliff. No, it is about factually looking at those mythology things, and how you can transmute it into your own walks, into your own life, into your own spiritual training. And then understanding your own theories. It's important, like Tom, that you are so aware of the spiritual necessities of life that you make your theories, because science has been there, but the spiritual has not been confirmed or made into the awareness that science has. And that's what we need. We need to grow to where science and spiritual are equally given their dues, and where you can really grow farther with the spiritual training.
And we have to be able to give ourselves credit for what we can do.
Yes.
It's not like we're going to get these advanced aliens come from somewhere else and they're going to straighten everything out for us, or that they created all these things, amazing things in the past. You know who created the things in the past that are amazing on the earth? Actual human beings were brilliant enough and had the tools, and science will go into the details of how much they knew and what they were able to accomplish with their knowledge and with their determination. So don't discredit what we're able to do and say, oh, our modern technology is retro-engineered alien technology, and stuff like that. Give people credit, because the only way we're going to change this world is for the inhabitants that live here right now, the non-alien, the real human beings, even though they have been aliens in the past. Once they biologically become part of this planet, they're born here, they're humans, they're part of it, and then they have to go through the whole process everybody else has to do, figuring it out and figuring out how to progress from here. They're not going to be able to bring any advanced technology from any other and be born in this earth and be able to instantly have that technology to give, because they have to go through all the steps to get there, and it can take a long way. Like you see the end of the puzzle, but you don't know how to get there. You're still going to have to do all the work. It doesn't matter if you have a sense for where you need to go. You still got to do it, and it's going to take you're not going to have there's going to be no shortcuts, and you have to deal with what you're starting with, which is what the state of where the earth is right now in the direction of knowledge and understanding.
Yes, still a baby. We still have far miles to go with the understandings of what we are given. And it's important that seeing the difference between mythology and theory in the spiritual sense is one of those steps that literally will keep you from running after delusions or things that are not really good for your soul.
And there's so much in the direction in the news today: fake news, distorted news, spun news, deceptions, and all kinds of energy in this world. We need people that are rational, that see reality clearly,
and that are going to do the research, because it is important to do the research. That way we can have reliable resourcing,
and we can do a lot deeper research. We have so much in the direction of addictions and things that are various desires gone wrong. What's the word I'm looking for? We have so many things that are preventing us from getting the most out of ourselves, from being as healthy as we can, to apply ourselves, to really exercise the way we do, eat the way we need to, and do all the things we have. We have so many things, indulging things that we do that work against us. And we need to get that clarity, that rationality in our approach towards ourselves, so we'll get healthy. And we need to have that kind of rational approach so we can actually solve the problem of this world. And the spiritual is rational in its own way. It's just you have to understand that it's different in the way it works, but it still has a rational side in which you have to figure out what works the best and what will come out with the most concrete results.
Yes, exactly. And in the spiritual, you see things like feelings. That's most important. The passion, you feel feelings. You get symbols, you get signs that are attached to your own rooted beliefs. But everything that you do in the training, every perception that you feel, everything that you have coming in that gut intuition, in that confidence in you, in the knowledge that you can listen to those spiritual signs and pick them up and get them. That's when you need to take the perceptions and clarity and see which ones are going to hold true with reality, just like dreams versus reality. You need to pierce through what are these symbols saying? What is the sign saying? What is the spiritual flow of this positive message coming in saying to me? And those are the times where you can tune into your spirit inside, that strength within, to see and to pierce into your own theories.
So, I mean, all this mythology and the dreams and everything, you have to figure out. You try to interpret it and get what you can from it.
Yes.
And then you have to see, how can I rationally apply what I'm picking up on to the real world, to the world and the problems we have right now? Because ultimately, the test of how effective you are spiritually is how effective you can transform a world that has all this violence and abuse into a lot healthier. Just like you abuse yourself when you eat lousy food and all.
That's
you
what
do
it
violence to yourself when you do things that are reckless and you injure yourself. And so that you do it to yourself and then you do it to the outside world. So you get yourself healthier and you start treating yourself properly, then you start working on the world and try to do things in the world that will make it less violent, less destructive, and a healthier world.
Yes, all starts within, within.
This is Positive Vibes Enterprise. The subject today has been mythology versus theory. This is a complicated subject, but it had to be approached because there's so much craziness in this world.
There's so much to go through with all of our topics. There's room to grow with your input, your comments. Please subscribe. We love to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please spread the word. We do need more subscribers, and we need more people interested because we're a new movement, and we're also training ourselves all the time to get better and better. So it's not like we think we have all the answers, because once you think you have all the answers, then you spread the wrong type of attitude to other people, and then they start thinking they have all the answers, and then people stop growing. So you always have, and then the spiritual, you never can pin it down exactly, so you're never going to have all the answers. It's going to be a constant, and that's what it's good to always have a puzzle to be solving all the time. That keeps the mind alert. It would be lousy if you knew everything, because then the mind would die.
Yeah, actions speak louder than words.
So thank you very much. We appreciate all our followers.